Welcome to PreMath. In this video, we are going to solve this given radical equation, square root of 1 minus 1 divided by x plus square root of x minus 1 over x equals to x. Please don't forget to give a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's go ahead and get started with the solution. And here's our very first step. To make our job easier, let me go ahead and make a substitution. I'm going to call this first radical square root of 1 minus 1 divided by x. I am going to call it u, whereas this second radical square root of x minus 1 divided by x I am going to call v. As you can see in this next step, where u equals to this first radical, whereas v equals to this second radical. Let me go ahead and call this our very first equation as equation number 1. Then this equation 1 is going to become, if I substitute this u and then plus this is going to be v equals to x. So therefore I can write u plus v equals to x. Let me go ahead and call this as our equation number 2. And here's our next step. We know u equals to this first radical and v equals to this second radical. Let's go ahead and square both sides, u square and this side as well. So that means u square is going to be simply this square and square root, they undo each other. We got 1 minus 1 divided by x. Likewise, we are going to take a square on both sides over here as well. So we got v square equals to this square and square root, they are gone. So we got x minus 1 divided by x. Now let's go ahead and subtract. I can write u square minus v square, which is going to be equal to u in our case is 1 minus 1 divided by x minus v square is x minus 1 divided by x. Let's go ahead and simplify furthermore. 1 minus 1 divided by x, when we distribute this negative sign, that is going to give us negative x plus 1 divided by x. And now we can see that they are gone. So we ended up with u square minus v square equals to simply 1 minus x. Let me go ahead and call this our equation number 3. And now let's focus back on this equation 2. We are going to multiply both sides of this equation by u minus v. Let's go ahead and do that one. So I can multiply the left hand side u minus v times u plus v equals to x times u minus v. And now let's recall this famous identity a square minus b square. We are going to apply it on the left hand side. So the left hand side could be written as u square minus v square equals to x times u minus v. But then we know that u square minus v square equals to 1 minus x from this equation 3. I am going to replace this part by simply 1 minus x. So this could be written as 1 minus x equal to x times u minus v. Now let's go ahead and divide both sides by x to isolate u minus v. Therefore this x and x is gone, so we ended up with u minus v equals to 1 minus x divided by x. And now let's focus on this part. And here I have copied it down over here. We can manipulate this thing. I can write this thing as 1 over x minus x divided by x. So that is equal to 1 over x minus x over x is 1. So therefore u minus v could be written as 1 divided by x minus 1. Let me call this as our equation number 4. And here's our next step. Let's go ahead and subtract equation 4 from equation 2. And here's our equation 2 and here's our equation 4. And now let's go ahead and subtract. I'm going to change the sign. This become minus u plus v. This become negative 1 over x plus 1. And this u and negative u, they are gone. And this is going to give us 2v equal to x minus 1 divided by x plus 1. Now we know that x minus 1 divided by x equals to v square. So I'm going to replace this part by v square. So this is going to become 2v equal to v square plus 1. Let's move everything on the right hand side. And now let's recall this identity a minus b whole square. So this equation could be written as v minus 1 whole square equal to 0. So that means v minus 1 equal to 0, or simply v turns out to be equal to positive 1. And here's our next step. Let's recall our v is equal to this square root of x minus 1 over x, and v value is 1. Now let's go ahead and compare these two equations. So we can see that we can write square root of x minus 1 divided by x equals to 1. Let's go ahead and take a square on both sides. I'm going to take square on the left hand side and the right hand side as well. So the left hand side, they are gone. They undo each other. So x minus 1 divided by x turns out to be equal to 1 square is 1. Let's go ahead and remove this fraction. I'm going to multiply all the way across the board by x. And we can see x times x is going to give us x square. This x and x is gone. We ended up with minus 1 equal to x. Now let's go ahead and move this x on the left hand side. So we got x square minus x minus 1 equal to 0. And now we can see that this is our quadratic equation, and we are going to solve it by using the quadratic formula. And here's our well-known quadratic formula. And now we can see our a equals to 1, as you can see over here, b equals to negative 1, and c equals to negative 1 as well. Now let's go ahead and fill in the blanks in this quadratic formula. So x equals to minus, and then b is negative 1 plus or minus square root of negative 1 square minus 4 times a is 1, c is negative 1, all over 2 times 1. Now let's go ahead and simplify this thing. So x is going to be equal to 1 plus or minus square root of 1 square is same as 1, and this whole thing is going to become plus 4 divided by 2. Let's go ahead and split these positive and negative sign. I can write x equal to 1 plus square root of 5 divided by 2, and the other one is x equals to 1 minus square root of 5 divided by 2. And now we can see that this part is less than 0, a negative number. And we know that x cannot be negative because x is the sum of two square roots. Therefore, we are going to reject this x value and we are going to accept this positive value of x. And we know that this value 1 plus square root of 5 divided by 2 is called golden ratio. So thus our solution turns out to be a golden ratio. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more exciting videos. Bye.